Hey there, so I just finished diving deep into this incredible book called Complex PTSD From Surviving to Thriving by P. Walker, and I had to tell you about it. You know how sometimes you read something and it just clicks, like it unzips you, steps inside, takes a look around, and then reads exactly what it saw. That's how this book felt for me, and for so many others who found themselves in its pages. It's not just a book, it's truly a lifesaver for many. I picked this one up because honestly, I've heard so much buzz about Pete Walker's work, especially his insights into emotional flashbacks, which apparently have made an enormous difference in people's lives. And let me tell you, it delivered. This isn't some dry academic text, even though it's packed with profound insights. Pete writes from the perspective of someone who has not only experienced a great reduction of symptoms from CPTSD himself, but has also spent nearly 30 years helping trauma survivors. So, it feels incredibly pragmatic, compassionate, and direct, like a trusted friend guiding you through a complex map. The core message of the book is utterly hopeful and empowering. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD), this deep, often confusing wound, is not some inherent defect you were born with. It's a learned set of responses, a failure to complete crucial developmental tasks because of chronic, prolonged childhood abuse and or neglect. And the amazing news is, what is learned can be unlearned. This isn't about blaming your parents to get stuck, it's about understanding how their dreadful child-rearing practices impacted you, so you can finally reject their influence and heal. Now, you might be thinking, CPTSD? How is that different from regular PTSD? Well, P. Walker really breaks it down. He explains that CPTSD is a more severe form, marked by 5 key troublesome features: emotional flashbacks, toxic shame, self-abandonment, a vicious inner critic, and social anxiety. Think of it like this: if simple PTSD is a single sharp wound, CPTSD is a pervasive, ongoing injury that reshapes your entire internal landscape. Let's talk about emotional flashbacks first, because they're a hallmark of CPTSD. Unlike typical PTSD flashbacks, these usually don't have a visual component. Instead, they're sudden, overwhelming regressions to the feeling states of being an abused or abandoned child: immense fear, shame, alienation, rage, or depression. Imagine being an adult but suddenly feeling as terrified, shaky, and very little as you did when you were a vulnerable child, unable to speak or even think. It's utterly disorienting, and it can last for moments or even weeks. Pete offers 13 practical steps for managing these flashbacks. Things like reminding yourself, I feel afraid, but I am not in danger. I am safe now, here in the present, or speaking reassuringly to your inner child. It's about bringing your adult self back online to soothe that terrified child within. Then there's toxic shame, which Pete describes as the veneer of an emotional flashback. It's that crushing feeling that you're loathsome, ugly, stupid, or fatally flawed. This shame isn't about something you did wrong, it's a flashback to how you felt when your traumatizing parent looked at you with disgust or neglected you constantly. Pete says, shame is blame unfairly turned against the self. When you're stuck in a flashback, it makes you feel utterly worthless and isolated. This realization alone has brought immense relief to so many, helping them shed misdiagnoses and the belief that they're inherently defective or crazy. This shame is deeply tied to the inner critic, which is essentially your parents' shaming internalized voice. Pete explains that the critic is your superego gone bad. It's that relentless voice that tells you you're not enough or too much, pushing you into crippling perfectionism or bombarding you with endangerment attacks, constantly imagining disaster. The goal isn't to get rid of it entirely, but to shrink it. You learn to stop its attacks and thought correct by replacing negative self-talk with affirmations of your qualities and accomplishments. It's a fight of a lifetime, but incredibly liberating. Another crucial concept is the 4F's: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. These are our innate responses to danger, but in CPTSD, they become entrenched survival strategies. Almost like personality types, the fight type often develops a narcissistic-like defense, driven by a belief that power and control bring safety and love. They might use contempt or bullying to get their way. The flight type is often obsessive-compulsive, constantly busy, and driven by the unconscious belief that perfection will make them safe and lovable. They endlessly flee inner pain through hyperactivity or workaholism. The freeze type or lost child hides, isolates, and numbs out through dissociation. They believe people are synonymous with danger and often retreat into fantasy, sleep, or media. The fun type seeks safety by merging with others' wishes and demands, essentially becoming a people pleaser or caretaker, forfeiting their own needs and boundaries. This is often the outcome of having a narcissistic parent who parentifies the child. He emphasizes that while these strategies helped us survive horrific childhoods, they leave us limited and stuck as adults. Recovery is about gaining easy and appropriate access to all these responses, using them flexibly when truly needed, rather than being rigidly fixated in one. A huge revelation in the book is the emphasis on emotional neglect as the core wound of CPTSD. You might think that I was never hit. Pete argues that the absence of parental love and interest and engagement can be just as, if not more, devastating than overt abuse. It creates an overwhelming emptiness, a hunger that gnaws deeply at the center of their being. This emotional hunger often manifests as addictions to food or other substances, misguided attempts to self-soothe. So how do you heal from all this? He lays out a comprehensive map for recovery, which he stresses is a multi-dimensional approach. It's not a one-size-fits-all formula, but a journey that includes cognitive healing, repairing destructive thoughts and beliefs, shrinking the critic, and building a fierce allegiance to ourselves. Emotional healing, recovering our full range of emotions, including the negative ones like anger and sadness, which our society often tells us to repress. Spiritual healing, finding a sense of belonging to something bigger and essentially good, whether through nature, music, or a higher power, especially when human connection has been deeply betrayed. Somatic healing, addressing the physical toll trauma takes on the body, like chronic muscle tension or digestive issues, through practices like stretching, mindfulness, or somatic therapies. And critically, relational healing. This is central. For many, it means experiencing a reparative relational experience with a good enough therapist. Pete stresses that genuine empathy, authentic vulnerability from the therapist, and dialectically reciprocal communication are key. It's about learning to trust others, to be vulnerable, and to form secure attachments, healthy supportive relationships that provide the love and comfort missing in childhood. He even talks about reparenting by committee, where pets, books, and online communities can offer significant healing connection. Pete also introduces the powerful process of grieving. This isn't just crying, it's a release of old, unexpressed feelings of fear, hurt, and abandonment. It has 4 components: angering, aggressively complaining about injustices to release fear and shame; crying, the penultimate soothing that stimulates relaxation and self-compassion; verbal ventilation, speaking or writing from your feelings to release pain; and feeling, passively staying present to internal emotional experience without reacting. Grieving helps you metabolize pain and defuel the critic. Now, if you're thinking, this sounds like a lot of work, you're right. Pete is very clear that recovery is a long, gradual process. Often 2 steps forward, 1 step back. There's no salvation fantasy of being completely flashback-free forever. But here's the kicker: this hard work comes with incredible silver linings. Survivors who commit to this process often gain an emotional intelligence far beyond the norm. They develop a richer internal life, choosing their own values, pursuing their own bliss, and becoming way more emotionally intelligent than the normies. They learn to navigate normal pain in healthy ways, rather than succumbing to the emotional imperialism of always trying to be happy. This book is a deep breath of fresh air. It offers a clear, compassionate, and incredibly detailed roadmap for navigating the complexities of CPTSD. P. Walker doesn't just explain what happened to you, he shows you how to heal, offering practical tools and profound insights at every turn. It truly helps you understand that your struggles aren't because you're defective, but because you adapted to impossible circumstances. So my friend, if you or anyone you know has been struggling with chronic anxiety, shame, an incessant inner critic, or a sense of being perpetually overwhelmed, this book is an absolute must-read. It's a powerful testament to the human spirit's capacity for healing and transformation. It truly helps you move from surviving to thriving.